For someone experiencing homelessness with a psychosocial disability, accessing the NDIS gives rise to a number of unique challenges and barriers.
That's right. But a little support goes a long way.
When supporting someone who is homeless and experiencing a psychosocial disability to access the NDIS, it's important to use that time effectively.
That's why we've consulted with some veterans in the field to identify some handy tips and tricks that can be used when supporting someone to access the NDIS.
The NDIS can be difficult to understand, especially if you're new to it. So when discussing the NDIS, I find it useful to break it down in a way that's relevant for the person that you're talking to.
When I was supporting Jared to access the NDIS, he didn't have a fixed address. So when filling out his access request form, I put down myself as the primary contact and then listed my organisation as his address.
When I was assisting Fatima to access the NDIS, she was finding it difficult to collect all of her supporting evidence and keep it in one place. To help her with this, I provided her with a USB stick attached to a lanyard so she could collect and keep all of her documents in the one place. I also helped her set up a free email account, and we made sure to email scanned copies of her information to her email address as a way of storing it online.
A lot of people I work with haven't seen a doctor in quite some time, so I've assisted them to re-engage with healthcare services to get the supporting evidence we need to access the NDIS. I've also found it really useful to write a supporting letter outlining the substantial functional impacts of their psychosocial disability that I've observed. I include my letter as part of the access request form, and I also provide it to the doctor, along with some useful templates to assist them in preparing a letter of support.
I've been working with a few people who are homeless and have a severe and persistent mental illness. Typically, they don't understand the NDIS. They're less likely to engage. They often can't book or get to appointments to get supporting evidence by themselves. Or they can't afford costs to attend medical appointments. In supporting people who are homeless and living with a long-term mental illness, I've found it extremely helpful to reach out regularly and informally at places where they're likely to visit. I use discussion resources to explain what the NDIS is and how the process might work, including the length of time it could take to apply, and that sometimes there are a few hurdles to getting an application approved.
Abdul and his GP were struggling to complete the access request form, so I supported them by collecting and sharing some helpful templates and resources with them to assist in filling out the form. I also suggested that they keep these on file at the practice in case they support others to access the NDIS.
Wow, they were some great tips and tricks.
What are some of your useful hints when supporting people to access the NDIS? We'd love to hear from you.